Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this segment of Real Estate Contracts and Disclosures. My name is Dan Frugero, and I'm the Personnel Director here at the JRP Group. What we're doing is we're putting together a video library of the different contracts and disclosures that we use in our everyday business. One thing that we do want to share with you is that there's a lot of details that are involved with each one of these contracts and disclosures. So we always encourage you to talk with your broker, your sales manager, or your legal team to ensure that the forms that you're filling out are being done correctly. What we're looking to do is just kind of go line by line on fill-in information on the important parts of what goes into the contracts and or the disclosures. One of the things that we do here at the JRP Group is we have a lot of one-on-one training, and also we have our breakout training in which we go over in full detail what each of the disclosures and each of the contracts actually stand for. So today, again, we're going to be briefly going over this disclosure, and this is the Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure. So we've had a chance to talk about a TDS disclosure, which is a Transfer Disclosure Statement, and we've also had a chance to go over the SPQ, which is the Seller Property Questionnaire. In those two disclosures, pretty much we had the house talking for itself. We also had the seller talking for the house itself. What did the house have? What does it do? Were there any issues or problems? So here is the disclosure that we're going to be filling out as agents, in which we're going to be identifying if there's any of the issues with the house that we happen to notice. So again, we'll go ahead and we'll go from the beginning. Again, this is the Agent Visual Inspection Disclosure. So again, we always start off, we have the city property address. We also have the county of the property, and then it's in the state of California, and we have the actual property address. If this happens to be a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, what we'll do is we always want to mark the box. And what will happen is if this is a multiplex unit, we need to have an Avid for each individual unit that we're going to be looking at. So in this particular case, if we happen to be doing a fourplex and this was unit A of 4, we'd be putting that this is the Avid for unit A. The next line down is the inspection is being performed by the real estate brokerage firm name. So this is going to be the name of the brokerage that you're doing the inspection for. So California requires, with limited inspections, that a real estate person is to do a reasonably competent and diligent visual inspection. So one of the things that we have to be careful of is when we're filling this out, we don't want to get into issues where we're going to be very descriptive or very definite as to what we're talking about. For example, if on a concrete, if you happen to see the concrete is cracked, and let's say you see a tree that's right next to the driveway. So if you put something along the lines of, the roots have caused the concrete to crack. So what have we done? Well, we've now made ourselves an expert in tree roots. We've also kind of made ourselves an expert in concrete and so on. So what happens if possibly something else may have been the cause of the cracks? Or if we put something where, let's see, we see any type of cracking or settlement above the doors or in the wall, and we put something like the house has settled, which has now caused these issues for cracking. Again, what are we opening ourselves up to? If you can imagine this situation, you're into a transaction, you end up going to court, and you have some attorney looking across from you, and they say, well, you've actually stated that the settlement cracks and the settling of the house caused these cracks. Well, could you let me know how long you've had an engineering degree? And then they stop and they look at you And obviously you're like, okay, now I'm in trouble. Or even example of the tree has caused the cracks in the driveway. We don't want to get into being very specific in areas that we are not aware of. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to do our best as far as what we see and what we're noting. So as we go on, it certainly talks about the California law does not require the agent to do the inspections following, for example, areas that are not reasonable and normally not accessible, areas off-site of the property, public records or permits, and common areas of a PUD, a planned unit development. The agent inspection limitations, and it talks about roof and attic itself. So the roof, the agent will not climb into or onto a roof or into an attic. The agent will not, as far as the interior, they're not going to move furniture. They're not going to move pictures. On the exterior, they're not going to be moving bushes, shrubbery, appliance and systems. Agents will not operate appliances or systems such as, but not limited to, plumbing, pool, spa, heating, and so on. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to go do our due diligence. So we always recommend, and one of the things, again, we talked about on our training is we're going to have our agents go through and we're going to have them read this entire disclosure to ensure that they are familiar with each section. So what will happen is we're going to complete page 1. We're going to have your client take a look at it, and then we're going to have, if you're representing the seller, we're going to have seller's initials, and or if the buyer, we're going to have the buyer's initials. Then we go on to page 2, and again, if this property is a duplex or a triplex, what unit is this? You'll note that. The inspection performed by, again, this is going to be the name of the brokerage that is actually doing the inspection, the date, and also what are the weather conditions. For example, was it very foggy? Was it raining very bad? Was it sunny? So we always want to go ahead and note that. And then we start doing the undersigned based on a reasonable, competent, and diligent visual inspection of the property has found the following notes of item. So now we're going to start getting into, so we're going to start with the entryway, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, and so on. So as you're going through, you're going to go ahead and note each item. So let's say, for example, if you're in the dining room and you notice that there is, the carpeting is dirty, you may just simply note carpet dirty in living room. In the dining room, let's say there is one of those little cracks in the wall or cracks above the door. You want to just simply note crack noted above door. If there's anything going on in the kitchen, let's say if you see any type of water leakage or water damage or anything like that, you might just be able to note water stain noted if it's actually on the sink where it's dripping, or you just simply might want to just put stain noted. And then you go ahead and you can continue on your Avid as you're going down. Again, you're going to be going over each parts of the house, the hall itself, and how many bedrooms are applicable. Is it 1, 2, or 3? If there's not a 3-bedroom house, let's say it's only 2 bedrooms, then you'll write bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and you'll go ahead and you'll note anything of importance. Again, with the bathrooms, if we have 1 or 2 bathrooms, you'll go ahead and note that. If you have other rooms, then you can go ahead and state if there's any other room to be noted. So for example, if maybe there's a 3rd bathroom, you might go ahead and write in bathroom number 3. And again, we're going to go ahead and note anything that we happen to find. And again, we have our initials at the bottom of the pages for the seller and or buyer. Again, they give us another opportunity if we have another room. And then we get into other. So let's say, for example, if you have an electrical wire that's, seems to be hanging down, if there is a water tower or something that is in the backyard, whatever it may be, you just might have just note something that there is a line of some sort or an electrical line, if you absolutely know it is hanging in backyard. Don't make a reference if it's too high, if it's too low, just simply what it is. If you need an addendum for any additional room structures, great thing about this is you can see it auto-populates. So it says addendum 1 was actually added on here. And now if you need an additional addendum for rooms or additional notes, you can put that in there. Now we're getting into the garage itself, exterior building and or yard, and then any other things that you've noted for observation. So now you've completed, to the best of your ability with your due diligence, any items that you've noted on your Avid. And you get to the bottom, and again, what we have here is this disclosure is based on the reasonably competent and diligent visual inspection of the individual. So again, what we have here is a real estate broker. This is the firm that's filling out the inspection. We have the agent's name, and then we have our acknowledgement page here where it's going to be signed by buyer and seller. And then also what we'll be doing is, if you happen to be representing the seller, then your brokerage firm will go here, and then you will be signing this under agent's name. And then we always want to provide a copy of this Avid to the representing cooperating broker on the other side. And then we certainly hope that they will in turn do a Avid for their clients and for themselves, and they will provide that over to you. So again, we appreciate you spending some time with us today on the real estate contracts and disclosures. We really appreciate it, everything that you do with us, and good luck in your real estate career. Thank you.